Today we're looking at a Kickstarter project for a mouse that is incredibly unique and has features that I've never seen on a gaming mouse before. This thing hits well above its weight class. It is a Kickstarter project and I genuinely hope this thing gets off the ground and running and becomes a regular production unit because this mouse is awesome. If you've ever wanted to customize your mouse in a fully modular shell design, if you require a high-speed optical sensor, Omron switches, and a slick set of stock skates, this is a good mouse for you. And just to add a little cherry on top, this thing has 3 modes of connectivity: a 2.4 gigahertz dongle, Bluetooth, and of course USB-C. This mouse was sent out for an early preview, test, and review, but I have not been paid by this company or told to say anything about this mouse, and this is going to be an honest, comprehensive review. The Marvo Z-Fit Pro is by far the coolest gaming mouse I have ever tested. It has one feature exclusive to this mouse that I have never seen in any other gaming or office productivity mouse, and a ton of features that are usually only seen in very high-end flagship mice in a much higher price point. Now, this is a Kickstarter project launching March 8th at these time zones right here in front of my face. They're not really floating in front of me, don't worry. Now, I've been lucky enough to have my greasy gamer mitts on this bad boy for about a month now, testing it out, and I've got to say, thus far I am very impressed, and I do hope that this Kickstarter takes off and this mouse does become available to the public because it's awesome. It's got one unique feature that I've never seen in any other mouse, and it also has a ton of features that are seen in other mice, but generally not in this price point. But you know what? I just got done playing a first-person shooter. I was doing a little fingertip grip, but now I'm gonna do a little productivity work, or maybe play a relaxing RPG, and this shell is just a little too tiny for my hands. What do? Grab another mouse out of my closet? Not quite. Check this out. I have half a brain cell, and that took me about 5 seconds. That was first take, by the way. I didn't edit or chop a bunch of fumbles and butterfingers here. So, as you can see, this is a completely different size. They also have several different colors of these shells available, so you can not only customize for the aesthetics of your room, maybe you're a streamer and you want to match your theme colors of your logo, but from a more practical standpoint, being able to switch between a small shell and a large shell means that you can share this mouse with multiple users or play several different types of games. For example, I prefer a smaller mouse when I'm playing something like a shooter because I can easily claw or fingertip grip it, but if I'm just casually doing some productivity work, for example editing videos, I just like to palm grip and I'd like a larger, more sculpted shell. And you can do that with one mouse here, which is really sick. Now, they do have 7 colors available in both the small and large shells. Now, some of the other awesome features of this mouse is it does have a Pixart 3370 optical sensor, which is rated for all the way up to 19,000 DPI or dots per inch, and a 1000 hertz 1 millisecond polling rate. What does all that technical mumbo jumbo and jargon mean? It's fast, so this would be very good for first-person shooters. Another feature I genuinely really appreciate is the fact that it does have 3 connection methods. You do have a dedicated 2.4 gigahertz connection with an included dongle. You do also have a very nice included USB-C cable, which will plug into the front of your mouse. And this is a very high-quality cable. It comes with a rubber tie-back that stays connected. It is microfiber, which is a step up above braided, and it is also very lightweight and flexible. To me, this reminds me a lot of the Razer wires for their mice, which are very high quality. And then you do also have Bluetooth, which brings me right into battery life, which is phenomenal for this thing. You're getting 120 hours with Bluetooth, 70 hours with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle, and when you plug this bad boy in, you're getting a full charge in about 3 hours. Now, for productivity, just browsing Windows, maybe doing a little bit of video editing, Bluetooth is absolutely fine. However, if you're gaming, especially playing some competitive first-person shooters, you're going to want to either go with the 2.4 gigahertz dongle or wired with the USB-C cable. They are a much quicker means of data transfer. That's why you're always going to get better battery life with Bluetooth, because it's not refreshing as quickly, and it's simply not as stable and quick of a connection. Now, I don't have the box or packaging out in front of me because what you're going to get is the actual end user, the customer, is going to be different than what I received with this demo model and its prototype packaging. I make it seem like it's some kind of astronaut capsule or something. It came in an unbranded cardboard box. What you're going to get, I'm sure, is going to be a branded box, maybe a little laser cut foam, a much prettier presentation. Same thing with the software. I do have some prototype software, which we're going to go over, that lets you customize this mouse, and in my opinion, the beta or prototype software is better than a lot of finished post-release software from other companies. I was actually very impressed with not only the hardware, but the software too, which is fantastic. Now, as for the switches and stock skates, they absolutely do not suck as well. So you have Omron switches in here, which are rated for 50 million clicks, and that does include the left and right mouse buttons, as well as these side buttons as well. And you do need to pop these bad boys off before removing these shells, because they'll just pop off anyway, but you could accidentally damage them. But these Omron switches feel incredibly good. I have had my greasy gamer mitts on a lot of gaming mice over the last decade or so, And these actually feel really good. They require a nice amount of resistance, then a nice satisfying tactile click, as they are mechanical switches, and then a nice little bounce or rebound as well. They just feel really good. And same thing with these side buttons as well. I also do like the fact that they are raised just enough where you can brush your thumb against them and easily hit them, but you're not accidentally hitting them when you're just resting your thumb on the side. They are absolutely perfectly sized and sculpted, so big fan of those. Scroll wheel also feels very good as well. It has distinct steps in it, and it does have a nice rubberized coating. You do have PTFE mouse feet on here, and I have to say the stock skates are actually very, very good. They have a nice consistent glide. I tried them out on 3 separate mouse pad surfaces, and it feels very consistent. It definitely gives you a very precise amount of control, and I always felt confident when snap aiming with this thing, especially when I was going claw or fingertip grip. Palm grip with the full-size shell also feels incredibly good. Basically, I just like the way this mouse feels, period. But if you want the specifics on these PTFE mouse feet, they're 100% virgin, much like your boy over here. Much like olive oil, we'll say that. And they are a 0.81 millimeters thick with 3 C's. And the particular formula or compound that they're using is built for durability. Next up, this does have RGB. We're talking the full spectrum of 16.8 million colors. Gorgeous. And yes, you can control that in the software, which we'll do in just a little bit, including this logo here and these bars along the side here, which it's very bright in here right now, but I will get some B-roll showing off the lighting. And last but certainly not least, a very welcome feature, you can switch the DPI or dots per inch, which is basically your sensitivity. This is actually in an accessible area right there on the top of the mouse, instead of some mice that are on the market where you have to flip them over. In game, you would never do this. You'd be getting shot in your suck hole, and then adjust the DPI that way. As we're over here, you have 5 modes, which are customizable in the software, which I'll show you in just a second, that you can swap on the fly, and it will change the color of the mouse pad, which it's not right now because it's not connected. Also, I've got to say, I absolutely love the way that the RGB looks on this, because you have these lightly smoked shells, and the RGB just lightly bleeds through it, and it looks good. It looks classy. A lot of times RGB just looks either too gaudy or just blatantly ugly. And I think this actually looks really classy, really tasteful, and really good. So like I mentioned earlier, their software that is currently prototype or beta is actually better than a lot of actual finished products. A lot of software programs out there for other mouse companies. You can do a whole hell of a lot with this software program. In this first tab over here that looks like a cog icon, you can set up 4 separate profiles, and then you can bind all 6 of the buttons individually. And as you can see, each one of them has a ton of control. You can add macros, you can set a button to be DPI up or down, and have full control over your multimedia. You can even adjust the polling rate, switch profiles, or turn the RGB on and off from any of these buttons. That's pretty sick. You can also set your debounce over here. I wouldn't really mess with this unless you are an advanced user. You do have your battery life in the top right corner, which as of now is indicating that it is charging. And I would recommend doing a firmware update when you get this mouse. On this cog icon over here, you are going to have an option to update the firmware. However, I am up to date. And then you can export your custom profile if you want to share it with a buddy or another fellow mouse owner. And you can import ones that you find online. Now over here, you can adjust your DPI. I do believe I said 5 earlier. It's actually 6 adjustable modes, but if you don't want all 6, maybe you just want 2 because you pick up a sniper rifle and a shooter and you want to bump it down for some very precise aiming, you can do that, or you can have up to 6. And it's very intuitive how you adjust it. You can either drag this slider or you can double click over here and type in exactly what you want. Now this does go in increments of 50. That's something to note. So if you try and type in like 480, it'll round up to 500. Not a big deal whatsoever. And keep in mind, these are all color coded. So when you press the DPI button, you will see that indicated. Come on, focus, sweetheart. You can do it. You will see that indicated around your scroll wheel, but you can change that here. If you don't want that visual representation of what DPI mode you're in, you can either turn it off, you can have a static color, or you can have it breathing, i.e. fading in and out. You do have your polling rates over here. I personally would recommend 1000 hertz. Now this is somewhat advanced. This is LOD, which is liftoff distance of 1 or 2 millimeter. I would leave it at 1. And basically what this means, while you're sliding across your mouse pad, Jesus Christ, this thing is dirty. If you lift up slightly, it will break connection between your sensor and the mouse pad, and you will simply stop moving. This is a relatively advanced aiming technique, but it's always nice when a mouse software includes options for it. And you do have it here. You have 1 or 2 millimeter and then ripple and fixed line. I'm not going to get too in depth with these here, but you can Google what these mean. Now, as for mouse sensitivity, I would leave this on the default of 10 and do not check this box that says improve pointer precision. What this is mouse acceleration, and it will actually make your accuracy worse in games. You can also adjust some scrolling speed options here for your scroll wheel and double click speed as well. And over here, you can record some very advanced macros. In case you don't know what a macro is, basically you press one button on a keyboard or mouse and it does a a whole slew or series of actions. Basically, you press one button and you build a whole tower in Fortnite. And then over here, this light bulb is of course going to be your RGB lighting, because we all know that RGB adds frames per second to your rig and inches to your nose. It's amazing companies work with a vulgar guy like me. Over here, you have steady. This is going to be a static color, and you can adjust a specific amount of red, green, or blue, or of course you can use the radial wheel over here, and as I am dragging it, it is being reflected on the mouse in real time, which is pretty sweet. And again, it just looks so good because it's kind of bleeding through that smoked shell. I do love the RGB on this mouse. I really do. Now you do have some preset colors down here, just the typical ones, teal, purple, all the ones that get the people going. So other than static, you have breathing, which is just that, it is fading on and off. You do have streaming, which is going to be cycling through the RGB spectrum, that kind of rainbow pattern. Now keep in mind the scroll wheel is currently amber colored or yellow, and it is flashing, and that is letting me know that the mouse is charging, as it is, well, pretty much dead on battery. Now unlike streaming, which is basically this rainbow pattern here, if you select neon, it is going to be one solid color, but it is slowly going to be fading through them, which I personally like this effect the most, and this is most likely what I'll be leaving it on. All right, this one is going to be a single static color that makes its way around this ring, as well as the bars on the side. Very nice, very nice. And then this is breathing, but instead of a static color, it is going through the spectrum. But overall, I'm very impressed with this software suite. I think this program works incredibly good. Not going to name any other companies, but let's just say a peripheral company that I've been using for several years now. I like this software program substantially more. So this is a Kickstarter project. It does go live March 8th. And I really hope that this performs well during the Kickstart and takes off, and this mouse becomes a regular production unit, because the fact that you can change the size and color of these smoked shells not only cosmetically looks awesome, but it's functional. The sensor, incredibly accurate and fast. 3 modes of connection. That's always a welcome feature, because maybe your computer doesn't have Bluetooth, or you're a hardcore gamer, but you still enjoy being wireless, so that's what the 2.4 gigahertz dongle is for. Maybe you simply don't believe that a wireless connection is fast enough for your sheer gaming needs, then you can go wired. Battery life, awesome, especially for the fact this is a relatively compact mouse. RGB, always a treat, we like it. Just a little note for whoever designed this website, these do need to be changed. This is claw grip and this is fingertip grip. They call it that because, as you can see, all that is making contact with that mouse is fingertips. And over here, this isn't even really claw grip. This is almost like a modified palm grip, but this is technically claw grip. Use your fingers to move around a little bit. They do have a Facebook group you can join if you want a little bit more information about the building process of these bad boys. You can sign up right here to get the early bird. You ain't getting no worm as the early bird. What you're getting is a nice ass mouse. Now, if you click on launching soon over here, you can see what is going to be included in the consumer box. Again, I didn't get anything this pretty. I got a basic cardboard box because I've had a demo unit that I've had for about 30 days prior to public launch or Kickstarter launch. Now, here's the pricing tiers, which I find incredibly reasonable. If you are one of the early birds, basically people that jump on this quickly, you can get this thing as low as $70, but its recommended retail for the mouse and a small and large shell is $130, and for that price, I do think this is a good value. Now, if you're not able to get on the early bird special over here, the standard price right now on Kickstarter is going to be $89, which is cheaper than that $130 retail. So that kind of gives you an incentive to support this company during their Kickstarter trying to get this product up and running, is the fact that you can lock one of these bad boys in for cheaper than retail, $40 off to be specific. Overall, I am very, very impressed with this mouse. I really didn't know what to expect because, well, it's a Kickstarter project. A lot of those are sacks of crap. This one happens to be really good, actually. Very impressive and better than a lot of mice on the market currently, not only in hardware, but also that software, which helps to back up the hardware. Alexa knows on. There it is. Ooh, she doesn't have any juice in her though. There's no steam pouring out of it. So once again, this is a Kickstarter project launching March 8th at these time zones on screen here. I do strongly recommend that you check this mouse out if you are even slightly interested, because since it is a Kickstarter, they definitely need your support to make sure that this becomes a production unit. And it is a really sweet piece of gaming gear, as I mentioned. Even if you're not a gamer, this would make a good productivity mouse, as it does have Bluetooth, so you could link it up with something like a MacBook. And I also want to give Marvo a genuine thank you for sending this out to me for an early preview, and I wish him the best with this mouse. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers. This information will reach and assist them as well, which in turn helps me grow this little channel, which I do greatly appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover news in the gaming community and industry, tutorials helping you get set up streaming and YouTubing, as well as honest gaming product reviews, keyboards, mice, headsets, controllers, mics, chairs, etc. There are some hefty exclusive discount codes found only in the description of my videos and only for the audience here at Gamer Heaven. Check out Into the AM for some of the sickest looking and most comfortable comfortable cloth to ever grace my gaming giblets. If you don't want to be scorching your corneas with harmful blue light, check out Gamer Advantage, the only blue light glasses on the market that look sexy and actually work. If you're looking for a custom controller that'll blow the competition's tits back, AIM definitively has the best bang for buck or price to performance when it comes to Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch controllers. Nope, they don't do Switch, but they do gaming mice. I said doo-doo. I have links to all my other platforms and socials in the description below. If you need a quick laugh or blast of gamer adrenaline, check my short form videos out at TikTok. Follow me at Facebook Gaming, where I am a partner and upload a ton of exclusive gameplay content. To get in touch with myself and the Stallions and Stallionettes of Gamer Heaven, join the community Discord, and check me out at twitch.tv, where I go live every other leap year on a blue moon, if it falls into an odd calendar number, and my pH balance is on point. Just kidding, starting June I'm going to be live streaming a lot. Thanks for watching. This has been AK40 Kevin hosting Gamer Heaven, and I'll see you tomorrow because I upload daily, all the time, 60% of the time, sometimes, most of the time. Peace.